more that breaks the matrix. Black people were Republican, and one day we should never be anything really, and should we all are everything and all or nothing. But we became Democrats based off welfare. We basically were told, we're going to give you more money to have more kids in the house than what the man can have working at his job. And let's take that job away. And let's put guns in the hood. And let's add crack. Now we got shot
right. Particularly in a Republican form of government, which is why we established this republic. Do you understand? Now, the Inquisitionist job was, and what their mission was, and it came even before we made this agreement, to undermine the republic. This is the reason why the plenipotentiaries with the Moors warned the people, once we finally decide to make peace and stop this silly wars that we're going over and over again, that you now have a republic if you're willing to keep it. And now you have a whole bunch of grown people in grown bodies with the mentality of little boys and girls that keep calling this a democracy, and as soon as they say that, they lose their political birthright. As soon as you agree to that, without a challenge, you've given up your political birthright and you've agreed to a fraudulent jurisdiction. Now, so what that makes you is booty and prize to organized criminals who will tell you to your face that this is a democracy and you haven't challenged it. No different if they call you Negro, black, and colored and you didn't challenge it. It's assumed. And if it's assumed and you don't object, it stands. Do you understand? This is another reason why anything relative to the rights of people is made in a public declaration. So you must make a public declaration of your independence from the fraud, as well as your declaration of your allegiance to the principles of civilized government. Do you understand? And so even like when like children say, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands. All right, that's cliche to most people. However, it means more than what they think it means. Do you understand? Now, that's those who pledge allegiance to the peace between the Moors and the European nations in here and establish this government of amity and peace and to do commerce in this Moorish empire. Do you understand? What they did is overthrew it. Six and Chestnut, and they took the nationality and birthrights away from the Moors, and different Moors were in government. They told them step down or die. Do you understand? And they instituted in 1779 the Negro and the black crap retroactively into the history documents. They started burning documents. They started hiding documents, transferring books into different areas of the countries and into secret societies. And they started making up new records. And in the new records, they started listing the Moors as blacks, Negroes, according to the territories. And they take the children and send the children to the Northeast Territory, they send them to the Southeast Territory. They take them from the Southeast Territory, send them to the Northwest Territory, and vice versa across the Nile River, which you call the Mississippi. And they've been playing the game, they even do it in military. Then Horace Greeley, who you saw, said, "Go West, young man," was competing with Abe Lincoln, etc. He was sort of like a tycoon with newspapers in New York. And they went about, Noah Webster too, went about altering the history, rewriting the history. That's your real truth of your period of Reconstruction. Those who know a lot of these fundamental keys have an oath of death, belong to secret societies. You notice that they'll wear our fez too in those secret societies. They call them Masons, Knights of Columbus, Eastern Star, Skull and Bones, and whoever they are next week. But the fundamental bottom line knowledge is Moabite Moorish history and culture in this land, not somewhere else. And Africa is not a Keeblan there. Northwest Africa and Southwest Africa is North America, Central America, South America. The Amazon River is not over there. The Amazon River is in South Africa, right here in the West. Do you understand? Now, the concept is that people are wrongly under the concept that the European sons established this with the Puerto Ricanos that you call pilgrims, which means wanderers, that they established this government out of some moral principles and they established the United States. That's a lie. The United States already existed. Do you understand? The United States is a federation of the Moabite tribes that they fakedly call Indians, and we're not Indians. My grandmother is Blackfoot, that they call fakery Blackfoot. On my mother's side, they're Cherokee, that they call Kitawa. And I ain't Indian. I'm indigenous to the land, but I ain't Indian. One of the traps that a lot of the Shemnites fell into, because you have a lot of sellout. A lot of different tribes that sold out, but that didn't constitute an agreement with the nation. They fake it in history that it does. This is the reason why they had to murder so many of them. Do you understand? Separate the children from the mothers, because the mothers carried the principles of civilization and passed them down, because we had a matriarchal system. You understand? Like in the South areas, as an example, when they call Puerto Rico, they call it rich port, because the women carried the gold, and most of the time we'd put gold on the neck, and it would have no seam. You couldn't take it off, and the family wealth would be displayed by the women. Or we put coins and stuff on jewelry on their turbans, mix it into their turbans, and they wear bands around here, and they would cut their heads off and cut their arms off for the gold, and they call it rich port. That's how Puerto Rico got its name. And they're Moors, mixed Moors. They mix Moors with Europeans and Chinese. Do you understand? So one of the problems with us is because we've been mixed, is that our concepts are wrong, and we keep thinking that we're different people when we're really not. We're just expanded of the same expanded family. And the base language here on this side is part Aramaic, Hebrew, and what you call Algonquian, that they call Indian different languages, and what they call Moorish Latin, that they keep calling falsely Spanish, which it is not. It's Latin, Moorish Latin, multiple dialects. And so one of the deals with the Inquisitionists, when they merged their kingdoms and defeated the Moors and started conquering the West, is one of the commitments of the White Camellia, the Klan, and the Knights of Columbus was to wipe us out of history. Do you understand? This is the reason why you cannot go and find the linear history. But that's also why you have all these secret societies that consequently and curiously keep wearing the Moorish fez. And you never figured it out. Do you understand? Then they have badges all across their car with the Moorish star upside down for Eastern Star. Then they have the compass on the square and the pyramid. They have Allah and Mecca and Morocco and Medina. And they'll name all the lodges after a mother, woman, the matriarchal systems, etc. And then rewrite the history and tell the people that they came from someplace else. These are the same people that thought the world was flat. But if you believed it, that's fine. But we were here for not 1,000 years, for multiple thousands of years. That flag, that Moroccan flag with that 5-pointed green star, been flying over here in government structure for over 10,000 years. Before the great drownings, they had drowning first, and the great burns and burning of the temples of Luxor, like in Mizraim, that they call Egypt. It's not Egypt, it's Mizraim, etc., that they call Alexandria today, was the largest library in the world, and they match it with the Library of Congress here being now the largest library in the world. So, and they have the history of all the countries here too. So one of the keys is that Moors cannot be deported. See, it's sort of like one of the conflicts that people have here is that they're in the frame of mind that we're all right and we start from here. And so whenever they go forward, it always becomes jumbled or confusing because it becomes non-linear, and you're always playing detective. And then nobody's talking. And then those who are talking want to commit you to some kind of oath or want you to sell your life, your arm to them. You know what I mean? Then it's a secret. Get the point? This is the problem that the scholars and the world governments had with Noble Drew Ali, because he came and he stepped on the Roman seal. He stepped on the Roman seal.
The Roman seal?
That's a code. See, the deal was that this basic information was not to be found out by you.
Right.
The commitment was that this general body of information would be hidden for at least 300 years, maybe 1,000. That accepted social concept, though not limited to, would be revealed to you in the William Lynch letter along the James River, when they talked about using the mental warfares of turning the men against the women, the young against the old, distorting the family. But there's more to that. It also had to do with the psychology and the knowledge of how to distress the womb and how to make a slave. By stressing the womb of the woman and controlling the womb, then you control the nation. The problem is that they cannot deport us from anywhere. No matter what what negatives come about due to the social corruption here, they cannot deport us. So they have to continue to build jails. Do you understand? I want to make another point. This is Brother Noah. Get a 3 flag stand later, and you put the flag, the amity flag there. That's the Stars and Stripes. Now, what most people don't know is that this continental flag is the flag of the United States. The Stars and Stripes is our agreement for commerce. Yes, what they did is buried this and then told you the Stars and Stripes was the national flag. The Stars and Stripes is not the flag of any natal people. It does not identify with any bloodline whatsoever. It is a flag that came out of the Treaty of Peace and Friendship of 1787, which was a culmination before the Articles of Confederation and the adoption of the Constitution, when we decided to stop this silliness, meaning wise men decided to stop the pendulum, because the wars between the Moors and the Roman nations have been stagnating civilization. Meaning it's no different than the position that we're in now, with all the lies that have been told amongst government, and they're caught in a catch-22. They're going to create all-out war, a whole global war, or they're going to tell the truth. They're trying not to tell the truth. If they don't tell the truth, you're going to have chaos on this planet like you've never seen it.
You're right.
Do you understand?
You're right.
And it's going to be because of a lie.
It's already started.
Yes, but it's going to be because of a lie.
That's right.
The lie is being exposed.
Yes. Now that's where we are. That's where the problem is. And the problem that you have is that you have Asiatics and Europeans that have been set up in the political arena being in 2 different camps. But in fact, you actually have, in the real truth history, you have Asiatics and Europeans who agreed to this structure. And then you had Europeans who were undermining it. This is where your matrix is. So whenever you have an issue before any court and you want to argue an issue, no matter what it is,